Captain Julian, Central Police Station. I've been here for about 6 months. Born and raised in Chinatown, and I lived there for about 26 years, so very familiar with the neighborhood here. So very happy and honored to be here tonight, and I appreciate everything you're doing, really.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarah Wan. I'm the Director of Community Youth Center. Used to be Chinatown Youth Center or Chinatown North Beach Youth Services and Coordinating Center in 1970s. We've been around for over 50 years, and I've been with CYC over 24 years as a youth counselor and also parenting class instructor, and now the director. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, thank you for having me here. My name is Tom Osley. I was previously a legal aid attorney, became a prosecutor as my second legal career. I worked in the crime strategies unit of the SFDA up until the new administration came in, and thank you for having me.
Thanks, you guys, for being here. I'd like to start off with just discussing that we've seen a rise in API hate crimes here, not just in San Francisco, but across the country. But if you were to ask members of the API community, they might say, well, this is always has been happening. What's the difference? Maybe social media has kicked it off so that there's more awareness. But Captain Ng, what do you have to say about that?
Well, thanks. That's a question that's on everybody's mind these days. API crime, have they been happening, and why are they happening? How long has it been going on for? I can tell you that I've been a police officer for 23 years, and I hate to say it, but Asians being victims have been there since I came in. All right. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for that. I don't know if you want to get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, let's get into it. So there's a lot of reasons, right? I'll try not to make it long, but these are my opinions, by the way, and what I've seen in my experience as a police officer and also as a resident of San Francisco, and also growing up Asian, through the public school system, etc. A lot of reasons. There's a stigma that Asian people always have money, right? I mean, everybody thinks Asian people keep money either at their homes, right? We all heard about the cash under the mattress, right? My mom did it, right? And then also, we carry jewelry and valuable items on us because I don't know why. Maybe we don't trust the banking system because maybe the banking system was corrupt from where we came from, or we just don't trust banks in general. We want to hold on and see our valuables, right? So that's gone out. Everybody knows it. When I first started as a police officer, I worked at Bayview District Station for a long time, right? So we have a big Asian community there, San Bruno corridor, and those parts. And you'll see that the houses that have evidence of Asian people living in the house are targets for burglaries.
What do you mean by evidence?
So the evidence is, and I'm not making a joke, like if you see a gate, and then inside the gate there's about 15 pairs of slippers, all right? I mean, that's evidence to some people that there's, an Asian family living in there. Ornaments on top of their doorways, figurines, lions, dragons, those type of things. I used to have that at my house, by the way. I was a victim of a burglary when I lived on Clay Street. When I was young, and it was, I think, because we had this mirror ornament right above my door, and that pretty much showcased that there's an Asian family living there. This is a great target because Asian families have money in there. So there's a lot we need to do, obviously, to change that way of thinking and that mindset. And I think, one of the things that we can do is just change the mindset that Asians always carry money on. Asians always have money, right? They don't trust the banks, they leave money at home. We have to change that mindset slowly. We are working with the banks, all the great banks right now. Myself and, of course, Andy Chung from Self-Help are working with the banks to try to give, financial education to our seniors to try to change that.
Yeah, if I could piggyback off of that, one of the other issues that I saw in my cases when I was a DA, in addition to the conception that Asian people carry lots of cash and are easy targets, is that they also don't cooperate with law enforcement. And this isn't just an opinion. I actually saw this being said in both jail calls. When someone's arrested, we can pull all of their jail calls and get to listen to all of their phone conversations. And I heard this was a common theme about the people that they were targeting, they believed weren't going to show up to court because they were of Asian descent. And that, dispelling that and showing that people are going to be cooperative. It doesn't just fall with Asian victims, it was also with organized retail crime. If certain retailers, there was an impression that they would not come to court, the people targeting those retailers would believe that they're going to get away with it because no witnesses are going to show up. So by working together and actually then showing up to court, then listening to the jail calls again, and then hearing them say, oh no, I was wrong, they actually did show up. And then getting the word out through those defendants that that is actually a misconception. They are going to cooperate, you are going to get prosecuted for what you did. And then that sometimes people deny that it's happening, and again, in my jail calls that I listen to, but also text messages. After robberies were committed and suspects were arrested, we would get a search warrant and then be able to go through all the text messages that the defendants had sent. And they would be driving around specifically looking for victims of Asian descent, using racial slurs to describe the potential victims. So yes, and I would say this at the time when I was prosecuting the cases, yes, you're being targeted based on your race. And it wasn't because of a negative reason, it was because they believed that they would have cash.
Well, I think I would just add a little bit because I work with mostly youth and also their families and also at the school ground. A lot of times that all this like violence incident happen, that they especially target Asian students because a lot of times they do not know, especially the parent, know how to advocate for the youth. When something happened, they do not know how to communicate with the school administration, how to really tell the school what really happened and how to really support their young children. End up they actually really become victim and they also being overlooked.